Good evening. My name is Jacob Hilsinger, and I am going to be giving a persuasive speech on gun control. If criminals are going to break the law, would they obey the law that prevents them from having weapons? As Americans, we have the right to defend our freedoms and our families. Disarming us only gives the enemy an unarmed victim, and this victim will be a law-abiding citizen. Good people that want to do what is right. And we deserve to be able to defend not only our country, but our families. While I was on active duty in the United States Marine Corps, people would talk to me often about how our country would benefit from gun laws taking away our freedom to own and carry weapons. There was a president that wanted to take away our guns and claimed to do so for our safety. However, I could not help but notice that he was protected by guns 24/7. If the president and his family are important enough to protect with weapons, aren't our families just as important? And shouldn't they be able to be protected just the same? This idea of gun control for our safety or for our disadvantage became a large topic of study for me. And as I have looked into it, I have found nothing but reasons as to why we should be afforded the right to bear arms, as well as examples of those who want to take away the weapons, lying to do so. My goal today is to help America understand the importance of becoming educated about home defense and to also understand the importance to be trained to use these weapons appropriately, to respect them, and to understand why it is important not to use them inappropriately. Let's dive a little deeper. The Constitution guarantees our right to bear arms. The Second Amendment states, as well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Basically saying that we have the right not only to protect our country by use of military force, but also that we have the right to protect our family by use of weapons. Why should we tear apart what made this country? Why would we take away the rights that were inspired by God to create a free country? The fact that we are even able to talk about changing things in this country is because of the freedom that we have been afforded. Why should we take this away? I would like everybody to truly stop and think about this one question. If we made a law that would take away the right to own and carry weapons, would criminals obey this law? Criminals break laws. That is what makes them criminals. Law-abiding citizens obey the law and would freely give up their weapons to honor and obey that law. However, criminals would not only keep their weapons, they would know that the majority of America is now unarmed and free to attack with no real way to defend themselves. Just this logic alone is enough to at least make most Americans agree that criminals would keep their weapons and innocent people would then be at danger because of the lack of home defense. Across the United States, states vary in their levels of gun control. Some states allow concealed carry of pistols with no permit, for instance Idaho, while other states require a permit to do so, Virginia, North Carolina, etc. Some states allow concealed carry permits but don't allow other states' permits to qualify passerbys to carry or to have their weapon on them when crossing state borders. For instance, in Virginia, if I had a concealed weapons permit, I could not cross the line into Washington, D.C. or Maryland. I would then be held at a felony offense, arrested and put into prison for 10 years. Some states allow the permit to carry across, but it is limited. I believe Virginia's concealed permit is accepted in 36 of the 50 states. Different variations of laws have been implemented to try to limit gun violence, but no solution has been found countrywide or even in any state. Factors weigh differently in different states with high gun ownership. States with high gun ownership may have low crime rates, and they may have high crime rates. Murder rates have no direct relationship with gun ownership. Even the political parties vary. A high percentage of both Republicans and Democrats own guns. If crime rates directly correlated, that would be one thing, and I could see imposing laws to restrict it. However, they don't. Using the state that I currently live in, for example, Idaho, is third in the United States for most guns owned. However, they are fifth in the lowest number of gun-related murders in the United States, with 1.3 murders with a gun per 100,000 residents in 2015. This would show that guns have no correlation with gun murders, but other states show differently, so there is no way to get a certain conclusion. The people who want to take this right away change statistics and lie about gun-related everything to convince people it is the weapon that is the problem. In 2018, there have been 3 school shootings so far. It is February 16th. That is terrible. The media would have you believe, however, that there have been 18. This is a tremendous inflation of statistics to fight a losing battle of removing weapons from Americans' hands. The 3 shootings that have taken place are again tragic, and something should be done about this. Whether that be helping the mentally unstable who are the ones committing the crimes, or teaching our children how to better respect weapons, maybe even reinforcing schools with more armed guards. Whatever it may be, something does need to be done. But the other 15 so-called school shootings weren't even school shootings. They were accidental shots that hurt nobody, or police officers allowing children to accidentally pull their weapon's trigger into the ground, harming nobody. Others were suicides that happened on or near school grounds after school hours where nobody else was hurt. The media would have you believe that so many people have been killed in school shootings when really it is about 600% less than they have claimed. To summarize, in conclusion, there really is no argument. Our right to own weapons should be enough, and with varying statistics, the only real conclusion is that it is not the owning of guns that leads to deaths. It is the people behind the gun that want to kill. That desire has been in certain people since the beginning of recorded history. It happened with or without guns, so why blame the gun? The best thing we could do is teach our children to respect weapons and teach them, as they get older, to use them for defense and hunting and nothing else. When they respect the weapon, knowing weapon safety and feeling comfortable with them, they will likely use them safer, creating a safer future for our children and their children, and so on.